every time I've talked about Tania Latson this season, it's gotten lost in the shuffle of bigger games. So tonight, before I talk about any of the other top 25 teams, well, any of the top 25 teams, because Florida State's not one, let me give her her own dedicated flowers so that she can get her recognition that she deserves. I know a lot of people have been saying, why isn't Latson being talked about more? And I've talked about her, but it just seems to go under the radar. So let's go ahead. 40 points, 5 assists, 5 steals against Virginia Tech. And these steals were head up, right in your face, picking your pocket steals too. I like them. They were almost disrespectful. She's been edging closer and closer to this 40-point game in a few games now. She had 8 in the previous game, so obviously that was a letdown. But in the 3 games before that, high 30s. And so to see her go ahead and cross that 40-point threshold, it's not a surprise, but it was, a pleasant thing to see. She was out there giving Virginia Tech the business. Not the toughest team at all, right? I'll be honest. I mean, Toby Fournier, Duke's freshman, had her career high against them not too long ago. She had 27. I mean, she's a baller, but still, a lot of teams have been putting the work on Virginia Tech. So even though they're an ACC team, they're not necessarily one of the top teams. Florida State will have a chance to prove themselves against Cal, who right now they're ranked. They just took a loss against Clemson. We'll see if they're still ranked when they meet against Florida State. But they'll have their chance against Cal, against Notre Dame. Well, Notre Dame comes way later in the season, but they'll have North Carolina before that, and a few other tough teams, Georgia Tech as well. But we can't just discount some of these totals that she's putting up, regardless of who the competition is. 28 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds on the season. She's balling out. She's balling out. Definitely making a case for Player of the Year. She won't win it unless they get wins against some of the top teams. But for now, she is on the list. She is on the list. If she loses those games against the bigger teams, they've already lost against some tough teams, but of course that'll dampen her campaign. But we still have to give her some acknowledgement for what she's doing. Leading scorer in the league right now, in the country right now. And I mean, unstoppable. Unstoppable. Not the most athletic going to the rim, but very unstoppable, very strong, finishes through contact, not missing a lot of layups. And I mean, nobody can seem to slow her. Well, let me take that back because she had 8 points in the last game, but not many can seem to slow her down this season so far. She's on a rampage. I was gonna put up a few players, and I still am, but I'll give you guys a sneak peek. A few players of which one would you take? Just for example, Haley Van Lith or Haley Cavender in Miami. I had Flau'jae Johnson and Tania Latson, 2 juniors, both scorers, both guards. And I wanted to see, I'm going to ask you guys now, which player, if they were both in the draft, the WNBA draft right now, which one would you take? Would you take Flau'jae or Tania? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you're a new subscriber, make sure you say hello. Make sure you're not one of those bot subscribers who never say anything or engages. And that's a really tough question for me right now because obviously I know Flau'jae has some top end talent, right, at the next level that maybe I don't or didn't before seeing Tania Latson. Just a little extra athleticism, a little more length. But buckets are buckets, man. It doesn't matter how you get them. It doesn't matter how you look when you're getting them. And clearly, Tania Latson has plenty of those. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Right now, I'm just going to focus on the way she was putting in work on Virginia Tech because as you can see, these buckets are hard to deny. I definitely had to make sure that I, threw some flowers at her feet for this one. Gonna get to these top 25 matchups now, but salute to you, Tania Latson. This was great. This was great. All right. Let's talk about